All right, now we're going to close out with a review of Captain America Civil War. The latest in the release of Marvel movies. I got to check this sucker out. It was amazing.
Yes, it was.
My freaking
I think Adam was saying Boo Earns.
Adam, what?
I wasn't booing
You
it.
jive, motherfucker. I trusted you.
It was my thing, and I'm going to get this out real quick. We don't get a lot of time. I just want to say, like, Captain America is the only Marvel movie property thing that I actually really get excited for. You know what I mean? And it's just like man at a time, that kind of look in his face where he's just so kind of let down by the times that he's in now, and he's just put there because he's frozen. And then this movie was just like, after the first two ones were so good, and it's just too many cooks in the kitchen, too much going on, a little less Captain America, a lot more stuff I don't care about, and that's my opinion. But go ahead, man.
Man, no, I don't think that's the case at all. I've been loving this since the first Captain America movie, which
that's what I'm saying, though.
Well, I ran into it, granted, with like very little faith, and since then, it's exceeded my expectations over and over again. And the concept of that has pretty much set my assumptions and expectations, just blown them away completely. It's like I expected, okay, this is going to be the one that brings it down, and I've never been so happy to be so wrong.
I thought it was wonderfully paced. Also, I was a little worried that it would have too much action.
I agree.
First, I thought it had a really nice sense of pacing, which is something that Marvel movies sometimes suffer from, where they'll be like really, really interesting and then like really kind of dipping down, and this kind of kept the pace. Plot moving at the speed of interesting, if you will.
I agree. And I think Adam's assessment, I do agree with your assessment, but I think looking at it not from Captain America's perspective, but looking at it from the plot's perspective itself, I thought it did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Even though they deviated on some details, overall the plot was executed very well.
Well, look at this way. You're familiar with the actual Civil War story.
It would have been rough to bring Civil War to the screen the way it...
Right.
There's too much. I mean, it's huge.
One thing I did enjoy was the Spider-Man inclusion, and I didn't think I was going to like that because I'm not a big Spider-Man, especially the last few movies. But the fact that they basically summed up who he is, and how he got there in like 5 minutes, and opposed to like how many movies is spent just doing that same origin story like that. They just did it in like 2 seconds. They're like, as Aunt May, he got bit by something. He can do this stuff now. He's got this weird suit. We're going to give him a new one. There you go.
Yeah,
and it was perfect.
Spider-Man.
And that's all you wanted. Give me more Spider-Man jumping around. That's what you got. And that was what was done really well. I didn't think I was going to like Spider-Man this much anymore, but I do.
You're a pessimist, dude. We expect that.
I'm saying I like something. You call me a pessimist.
Whoa, hey, blowing out levels here. But no, the new Spider-Man played by Tom Holland, for the newcomer to the universe here, who's done... Yeah, no, he was...
twink we deserve.
Oh, no, this kid did an amazing job.
He did.
He really blew it up. And the thing is, it's a hard role to take up because it's proceeding two very well-known and fairly well-received performances, not counting Spider-Man 3. And he, I think, nailed it, especially for like a first time being introduced to characters that we've known for several movies. Also, want to call out, you mentioned Aunt May, played by Marissa Tomei.
Oh man, she still looks really good.
Yes, amazing. The theater just said,
I'm glad Aunt May is not like some grandma, like Grandma May. She actually looked like the hot aunt.
No, very good job by Marissa Tomei.
No reason that Aunt May has to be older.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
You know, I think all the performances were pretty much spot on, which is very hard to do with an ensemble cast this large. And mind you, it's an ensemble cast, even though this was Captain America's movie. That's the thing that's very easy to forget because they have all the Avengers in here, but it was about Captain America and his relationship with Bucky. The actual plot breakdown is political pressure mounts to install a system of accountability. I'll stop doing the voice. To install a system of accountability when the actions of the Avengers lead to collateral damage. Now, the new status quo deeply divides members of the team. Captain America believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference. Iron Man sharply disagrees and supports oversight. As the database escalates into an all-out feud, Black Widow and Hawkeye basically pick a side. All the rest of them kind of break into teams, and the whole thing, that's where the drama comes from. I thought it was phenomenally done.
I've got one question. I haven't seen the movie yet. My only question is, how was Black Panther?
Black Panther was amazing.
Yes.
All right, Black Panther played by Chadwick Boseman.
He's sexy as
very
hell,
easily confused for Chiwetel Ejiofor. But Chadwick Boseman, you may know him from playing Jackie Robinson, and did a phenomenal job. I was very impressed, especially when the origin of Black Panther isn't something that's easily done, because there's like 5 different ways to interpret it, and this was just very
also
quick,
very
to the
succinct,
point.
very succinct.
Exactly.
Yes.
And he's getting his own movie.
Absolutely.
Ryan Coogler's directing.
It's gonna be
So my fingers are crossed. You got to alley-oop, Ryan. You're going to kill this. I know it.
Yep, Black Panther was amazing.
The one thing that want to give shouts out to Amy, because Amy brought this up real briefly in the midst of our conversation, because one of the things I struggled with was that it wasn't 100% accurate to the comic. And she was like, well, it's kind of hard to do it 100% to the comic based upon how intense the Civil War comic is.
It was.
And she's absolutely correct. Yeah. It's funny because I actually had this exact same conversation a couple days ago with some of my buddies, how they were upset with this, especially my younger ones who were like in their 20s or so. They were very upset that I wasn't tied straight to it. So there are multiple differences out there. There's 3 I want to point out. The 3 differences that I don't think it harmed the movie at all, but at the same time, it did make an impact in the movie, and I think it helps the movie grow into a different direction. Okay. So for those who haven't seen it, go see it, and this is going to be some spoilers in here, so spoiler alert. All right, so the 3 differences that stuck out to me: 1, the location of the events, because in the Civil War comic, everything happens in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yep.
And because it didn't happen in Stamford, Connecticut, it happened in Lagos, Nigeria, in the movie. One of the things that's really interesting about that, I think perhaps the movie theater took liberties on that. 1, to tie it into to Winter Soldier, and at the same time, perhaps it could be because of sensitivity around children dying in Connecticut. It could be that. I don't know for sure, but it could be that, because the one thing that was emphasized in the comic was these kids died in this explosion.
Well, am I allowed to speak?
Oh, of course, brother. Go ahead.
allowed to speak,
This
yeah.
is a conversation. Go ahead, bro.
Spoiler alert, just for anybody to know, I think they had to tie in BP.
Yes.
And that was the only way they could have did that. Because you have to remember, Civil War is huge, bro. We're talking
Yes, it is.
tie-ins.
It is.
Yeah,
multiple
but they were also
comic books.
limited by constraints of the MCU itself. Now, if
Exactly.
you really want to go into the depth of Civil War, you have to bring in Spider-Man in a much more advanced role.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was his first introduction. We could have never gone to the... Actually, Jay, we talked about this.
Yes, we did.
At the screening. We couldn't have gone to the depths of the introduction of the red and gold suit from Tony Stark. We couldn't have gone to to Spider-Man actively, openly, and voluntarily revealing his identity as a figurehead for the... they renamed the Mutant Registration and General Meta-Human Registration Act.
The accolades.
Yeah.
Plus, there's like a lot of characters missing, like Mr. Fantastic. And
Exactly.
Yeah. So they had to work within those limitations. So I can understand a lot of the changes that they did make. It seemed also like they were probably crossing a couple of lines. Because if you recall, the initial in the comics, at least from my, if my recollection is correct, it's been a while since I read it.
Yep.
It was actually the New Warriors.
Yep. Yes, it was.
That were responsible, not
Yes,
the
it was.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Correct.
For the act in the first place, or for the acts that resulted in the act.
Absolutely, and I think Derek is 100% correct in terms of making sure that they have all the proper tie-ins. One could argue that if they stuck to the script when Tony Stark and all of them went to Wakanda and actually met with Black Panther right then and there, and met with everybody there to talk about what should we do about this, how can we convince Cap to sign up on this and so forth. It could have worked, but they put so much money, so much energy into this to making sure that all the tie-ins were properly done. And all of you already alluded to the fact that we only have but so many characters we could work with. Because Ant-Man doesn't show up this early in the scene.
No.
But he's right then and there.
Yes, he was.
Right then and there. He did an amazing job.
Not just Ant-Man. Giant Man.
Giant Man. And that was a good connection to the comic to have Giant Man in there in the form of Ant-Man. It was just an amazing thing to do. Also, one thing I can't remember if it was Herb who mentioned, or actually it might have just been you, Spider-Man.
Yes.
That was one of the things that folks on the internet are spazzing out about, is how Spider-Man was introduced. Not that the way Spider-Man was introduced to the movie was bad, but at the same time that he wasn't at his advanced stage. Everyone was looking for that super duper suit that Tony Stark made for him, so people were looking forward to seeing it now. But I think the way they worked him in for the long run was the best way they could go about it, because you will get a Spider-Man movie off this. Another spoiler alert. And for those who don't do this, and I've finally met people who still don't, stay to the end of the movie, y'all. What's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, when me and P went to go watch the movie, folks are walking out. The next day when I went to go see it again, folks are walking out like, this ain't your first rodeo. What's wrong with you?
Don't know. They just don't know.
So if you stay to the end, Spider-Man's going to come out with another movie. And I think it was a good way for him to set it up with him. And of course, I mean, with Marissa Tomei. Jeez. Woo! That was a good look.
Have you seen that meme that's going around where she's playing Benjamin Button? It's like, yo,
I have not,
Aunt
no.
May has the Benjamin Button effect going on. For every movie she does, she gets younger and younger. And wow.
She got that
I
button.
love that meme, dude. That's hilarious.
It's gonna be her and my cousin Vinny just sagging.
What was the original Stay to the End?
The original, was it the Thor's hammer?
Iron Man.
Thor's hammer in the
I think either Iron Man or I think the one that shocked everybody was Incredible Hulk when Tony came out at the end. And that's when you knew it was it was Iron Man because Nick Fury.
Nick Fury showed up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Nick Fury
I
showed
want
up
to talk
Iron Man.
about
It was
this
Iron
initiative.
Man.
Yeah, okay, that was the original.
I want to talk about an initiative. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like, hey, come on, man. Yeah, it's like no, that was a regular moment, but
just like the Giant Man was.
Giant Man, yeah. But dude, this presents a lot of opportunity for people to be purists, and it also presents a lot of opportunity for folks to say logically, dude, get off your freaking high horse and appreciate this for what it is.
Nice.
You know, they're doing the best they can with what they have to work with that you've loved so far.
Yes.
This isn't Fox. This is Marvel. Have a little faith.
Yes.
You know?
Are you guys excited about the Civil War 2 comic storyline that's going to come out later on?
I know. I am. I'm ready to go.
Carol versus Iron Man, dude.
I'm not, mostly because I know how things tend to go when it seems like they're very blatantly trying to milk every
Civil
last
War, bro.
yeah.
I can see that.
You know, and
Yeah, I can see that too.
And this isn't necessarily squeezing blood from a stone, but it seems like they're pushing their luck. You know,
I mean, the thing
Civil
is, I
War is
mean-
not an easy. Sorry, go
Oh
ahead.
no! So the thing is, I mean, they're obviously trying to strike where the iron's hot. I mean, they just reproduced all those Civil War comics in trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, they just pushed them out like crazy, man. Like I went out and got the trade paperbacks. I mean, there's so many brand new fans to this, and they're just trying to strike where the iron's hot. So for them to try to push out Civil War 2 so fast, I can't blame them because in the end they're just trying to get this money, man. And it's if it wasn't Marvel, I'd be concerned. I'd be very concerned that they're trying to, like you said, get blood from a stone. But at the same time, because it is Marvel, I think they understand that the tie-in between the comic and the trade paperbacks with the movie is so detrimental that they're not going to water it down. They're not going to screw it up to the point where it will hurt their bottom line when it comes to the comic. When it comes to the movie.
I think what they did great, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead, brother.
I think what they did perfect with Civil War was they captured the pivotal moments that they needed. Certain scenes, if you read the arc, you're like, boom, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they gave the ode as much as they can without breaking the continuity of their current universe. You have to respect that. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Because so far, who's doing it better? I'm being dead honest with you. Like I've never spent so much money in the movies in the last 7 years as I have because of Marvel movies.
Well, no, Marvel's definitely got.
Pat, I don't watch movies twice in the movie theater, and I've watched Winter Soldier 3 times in the theater. I've watched Iron Man, all 3 of them twice in the theater.
Wait, Iron Man 2, brother? Come on, man.
It doesn't matter, bro. It's all part of the greater good of the story.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like some fans just gotta like take the Marvel Cinematic Universe as its own separate universe. You know, it's like the Ultimate Universe, or you know, like 616. It's like
they have like
it's gonna have its own
facets
story.
of media tying in. Like you got those. What happens in the movies affects the TV show.
Yes.
You know, and if you're into that,
yes, actually, that's one thing. I forgot about that. I wanted to touch on. They have seeded the Marvel's Agents of Shield TV show with bits that will obviously be in the next movie. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do next. I've been like excited about a movie franchise in a long time.
Me too, bro.
That's the
Me
thing.
too.
Yeah, that's my main takeaway from this. It's like they managed to do the damn near impossible and get me to care about the next movie.
And I mean, it's to the point where I can't front. I feel a little guilty because I've always been so hardcore with DC. So I feel so guilty embracing it so hard right now. It's just crazy, man.
I'm not
just
gonna lie,
like,
me too,
oh,
brother, me
Batman, what happened, bro?
what did you
Suicide Squad is gonna like fix up DC Cinematic Universe,
I'm
man.
hoping so,
telling you.
bro. I'm hoping so.
Listen, the saving grace of that multiverse universe is Ben Affleck.
Yeah, isn't that
Listen to me.
crazy?
No, you listen to me, damn it. You let that man take I read, I don't know if it's true or not, that he took executive producer control of the JL League movie.
Me too. I heard that too.
Yes, Argo was
Batfleck.
great. The Town was great.
Yeah, but
These movies weren't like
Batfleck, yo.
superb, like Oscar nomination, but they were good.
But like, if you look at Ben Affleck movies, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying like historically, he's got a poor track record.
Yeah, of course. No. Poor tracker because he worked with other people, but those were his fledgling years.
I don't know.
Those were his fledgling
Okay,
years.
not a
You
poor.
didn't, hold on,
not
you
a
didn't
poor
like him in
track record.
Dogma. You didn't like him in Dogma?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not placing judgment. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You look at, say, Rotten Tomatoes, and you're like,
Yeah, of
how
course.
good is Ben Affleck? And historically, that's all I'm saying. That's all.
Well, not a poor track record so much, just as a string of bad luck. But no, I do believe he can bring the franchise back. Going back to Civil War real quick, if anyone hasn't seen this movie, this to date is my favorite of all the Marvel movies, and that's really putting it on a high pedestal because Guardians of the Galaxy was great. Captain America Winter Soldier was great. The first Iron Man was great. The first Avengers movie, phenomenal. Avengers Age of Ultron was a movie. It was part of the puzzle. I recommend anyone check this out. This movie earns my highest seal of approval. I will be seeing it again. I highly encourage anyone else to.
It was excellent.
All right.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, I rarely, if ever, see movies twice, paying for it. I see this movie back to back. Twice,
and I'm
Loved it.
not trying to hate on it. I did like the movie. I'm just saying I really liked the first two, and I definitely hold them higher than this one.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately,
All right. And I didn't mean to give you stuff, man. You know I'm messing with you.
yes, you did.
All right. Well,
Always.
That's very solid.
Haters only.
That seems to be the mood for you tonight, Pat.
Really is.
We're going to close out with our new theme, Anal Love.
Yeah.
All right.
James Brown was team cap, right? That's where we ended up.
All right. Either way, I think the general consensus is we endorse and give a thumbs up to Captain America: Civil War.
Yes.